Yesterday, the Attorney General for the state of Missouri, Andrew Bailey, posted on X, keeping Kansas City safe no matter the politics. As he says, the court has granted our request to dismiss Mayor Lucas's lawsuit to defund the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department. Missourians deserve law and order, not political stunts. We will always back the blue. Here he is, the Attorney General for the state of Missouri, Andrew Bailey, on KCMO. Mr. Attorney General, good morning. Appreciate you being here. What does this lawsuit tie back to? Because it's been so long that this has been, I know, percolating on the legal side.
Yeah, Pete, thanks for having me on. Excuse me. Yeah, this is an important win for public safety in Kansas City and really in the entirety of our state. Going back several years, Mayor Quentin Lucas has tried to reduce the amount of money that the city contributes to funding the Kansas City Police Departement. Well, the state moved in and said no. And look, this isn't some novel new concept. In 1958, the Missouri General Assembly passed a statute that required the city to pay for the police department. I mean, it's been in statute since 1958, so this was nothing new. But Mayor Lucas tried to reduce that amount of funding. Well, that would have harmed public safety. That would have harmed the police department. That's less police on the street, less equipment they can use, less training they have access to. And so the state moved in and filed a statute to prevent it. Mayor Lucas challenged that statute and spent your tax dollars to try to stop funding the police. We fought him in court. It had to go all the way up to the Missouri Supreme Court. We had to pass a constitutional amendment in August of 2024 and then a subsequent statute. He then challenged both of those, and yesterday he lost. We won. He can no longer reduce the amount of funding to the Kansas City Police Department. They've got to fund the cops.
So this was decided yesterday by the Missouri Supreme Court. Is that right?
So the trial court ruled on our motion to dismiss the most recent lawsuit on the 25th. So this is really just an extension of litigation. It's been up and down the court system, but technically the ruling we got is at the trial court level. So he may decide to appeal it. But look, the ruling is significant because I had gone to court and said, hey, Judge, dismiss this because it's just not right. It's just not ready for adjudication yet. The actual action hasn't taken place where the board has asked for money and the city's refused to pay. Well, the court said, I don't care. I'm ready to rule now, and said that his claim is invalid. Basically, what Mayor Lucas was saying is that the state was requiring him to do new activity in violation of the Hancock Amendment. And the court said, hey, look at the statute from 1958. This isn't new. There's nothing new here. You've got to have a police department. You've got to have a police force, and you've always been required to fund them. So the state's not asking you to do anything new and was ready to rule on the merits and dismiss the claim with prejudice.
Now, he was claiming it was prejudice?
Well, the courts dismissed the claim with prejudice, which means that issue has been decided. He can't refile that.
So can he file an appeal on this dismissal?
He certainly can, but we'll be ready to fight him. And again, you know, when you get to an appeal, the court gives deference to the winning party and to the trial court decision. And here the matter of law is so clear. Again, the judge did such a good job in his ruling getting into the meat and potatoes of it, getting into the heart of the matter. We would call it ruling on the merits of the claim as in legal parlance.
Because it's amazing. I didn't see anybody else in Kansas City or Missouri media report on this yesterday. And I'm not going to pretend I'm some kind of legal scholar here. And I know that I want to make sure the audience is caught up on this as well. So it's a trial court dismissal yesterday regarding a attempt by the mayor's office to defund the police department. Compared to right now, he has to give, I think, 25% of the general fund to the police department for their budget, right? So that's what this was really about.
Right. This is we were defending the state constitutional amendment that allows the General Assembly to set the amount that the city has to fund the police department. And Mayor Lucas had challenged that. Look, Pete, you're right on the story. You're absolutely right on the story. It is shameful that the legacy media on the western side of the state is ignoring this. But let's go a level deeper. Mayor Lucas is hiring private attorneys, spending your tax dollars to fund his rich attorney friends to make these challenges. That's how desperate he either A, wants to defund the police, or B, wants to line the pockets of his political cronies.
Do you know, and I mean, I'm going to talk to him later this hour, so I can just ask him, but you may have the answer. Do you have any idea what the cost has been to Kansas City taxpayers to fight this?
I don't have that at my fingertips now, but it would be a great question to ask him. And don't let him off the hook. Don't let him give you the answer for this single motion to dismiss, like arguing the motion to dismiss, say, no, look, if you go into the case file, you can look it up on CaseNet. In fact, I've got it pulled up right now. This case goes back years. Let's tally up how much the city has spent fighting the state so that the city could try to defund the police for years now, and how many private attorneys were hired to do that.
Because this all predates you being the attorney general. This goes back to like 2021, I think, was when this all went down originally.
That's right. This started in 2021, and Eric Schmidt began defending the state statute, defending the police department from Mayor Lucas's attempt to defund it. And it goes on today. And so, yeah, I mean, this has been years in the making. Mayor Lucas has used your tax dollars to hire private attorneys to do this. It's absolutely deplorable. Shame on him for having so little regard for public safety in Kansas City.
But what's weird is he will say that, hey, I'm now funding this department. It was 20%. Now it's 25% based on state law. So I'm doing exactly what I have been asked to do. So he's still fighting it just to maybe have that ability one day to potentially pull some money out of the police. Is that how this has to work out legally? He can say he's doing right by the taxpayer and right by the law now, but the goal still is on the back end to potentially make it so that number can come down?
Yeah, I'm sure. I believe that would be the argument he would make. It's like, look, I deserve as mayor the discretion, but it's a board of police commissioners that's appointed by the governor, confirmed by the Senate, because the state has an interest in ensuring that law enforcement in one of our biggest cities and one of our economic hubs is done the right way. And so it's a shared responsibility, and that's why the state has that authority. And look, the majority of Missourians voted on that constitutional amendment to approve that legal landscape. But again, if we're talking about him wanting to take money out of the police department, well, how about all the money he paid to the lawyers? You know what I mean? Like, we would have had more money to pay police if he hadn't wasted time and energy suing the state of Missouri so that he would have the discretion to defund the police.
Got it. Okay. Well, Mr. Attorney General, thank you very much for filling us in on this, because I just had questions about the case because nobody else, like you said, and like we just talked about, around the state was reporting on this decision yesterday. I saw it on your X account, and I'm like, we got to get the Attorney General on to talk about this. So grateful for the time as always, sir. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks, Pete. Really appreciate you. Look forward to talking again soon.
All right. We'll do it again. Hey, any trips to Mar-a-Lago recently, or has that been quiet so far this year?
It's been quiet. I was up in D.C. a few weeks ago, got to be at a press conference where the president signed an EO, was grateful. He gave me a shout-out. Always great to see the president and his team working hard to make America great again.
Well, you know what? Their loss remains our gain in Missouri. So thank you, Mr. Attorney General. Have a great day.
Thank you, sir. You too.
All right. There you go. That's Andrew Bailey.